Is homosexuality a sin? I have a better question. Is rejection good for you? And I'm not taking this where you think I am. I'm not talking about society rejecting the homosexual. I am actually talking about rejection in general first. We know that rejection is a negative thing. It's incredibly negative. It's incredibly destructive. And this is one reason the homosexual will be very vocal when they feel rejected. But the rejection of the self is much, much worse. And I want to explain a few ways that the homosexual actually rejects themselves. And one of the first is their natural passions and inclinations. Now, I know that you're going to hear from the media and from most homosexual mouths that that is not their natural inclinations, but they're not being honest about when they were little and how their inclinations changed or how they were shaped or formed. And surely some of them wrestled with some of these tendencies early on. But what you don't want to leave out of the picture, and what often will be left out of the picture, is the average homosexual still has heterosexual temptations, tendencies, desires, and dreams. So they reject the self by pushing off some of those natural tendencies. And that's just not a good place to be. The second thing is, there is something about homosexuality that offends the conscience. Every homosexual has had to wrestle with their own conscience as they indulge into this activity. Irregardless of the church, irregardless of your culture, you have to wrestle with your conscience when you imbibe in this kind of activity. So you reject your natural desires, you reject your conscience. You also begin to reject your future, as in children. You reject progeny and offspring and any kind of continuance of your name or legacy. It's very natural for people to want children and grandchildren, and so the homosexual has to reject that portion of themselves. They also have to reject their natural sexual identity. Okay, what I mean by that is any homosexual alive was born either male or female, and so as they go out in society, they carry with them a natural image of being a male or a female. And so many times the homosexual rejects that natural image. So you'll have a female that tries to dress more male, or you'll have a male that tries to act more female. And so there is the rejection of their own sexual body image even. Not to mention you reject your natural casting for roles in society. Society, since it comes from familial entities, many families having many families, there is a natural progression of male and female marriage that comes together that has offspring who also find spouses and marry and duplicate. And the whole process is really natural as society looks at itself. But as a homosexual declares that I am not part of that society, they begin to reject their own image as being separate from society. So when someone asks, is homosexuality a sin? I would prefer to ask them back, is rejection good? And I don't think so. And I would try to explain to them in how many different ways and levels that the homosexual begins to reject themselves, including their own emotions. And I can get into that in another video.